Guru Nation, welcome back to another episode of Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru. We've got a very special podcast today because usually Monica joins me as a co-host, but today I'm actually interviewing her. Namely, because we're supposed to interview the founders of Latinos in Clinical Research. So we did an interview with Judy Galindo, we did an interview with Ashley Margot, and now I'm doing, Monica's the third of the founders, Monica Paula Quitiva, otherwise known as MPC. That's her new nickname from now. The one and only. And I'm interviewing her to get her story, her background, and then we're going to talk about entrepreneurship because that's something that runs deep in MPC's DNA. Her love for business and all the ideas. I mean, you guys have no idea. Monica calls me every day with an idea about something. And I think that spirit you need, it's important. Not all the ideas, most of them don't work, right? But the ones that do, this is why it's important to have them, because the ones that do started out as ideas too. And we're going to talk about why it's important, I think, for anyone in healthcare, anyone in clinical research, even if you don't think of yourself as a small business, you should, because you are your personal brand, you are your own business, you are your career. I mean, all these things go to define and mold who you are. Don't ever let it be just one employer or one company. Don't ever be at the mercy of one employer, one company. We can end the podcast right now. We're done. But
That's it.
but we're just getting started. We're just getting started. So welcome MPC.
It's actually good. I was just mentioning that when I was little, I used to sign like that, NPC.
Well, now it's coming back because I think you said Monica Paula Quitiva. That's your full name.
Mhm.
Uh, Nobody has that name in the world, right?
Nobody, just me.
But MPC,
Great.
how's it going?
Great, Dan. I can't wait to have this interview. I
How
was
did you
actually
like that
very
intro? How did you like the intro? You
loved
literally,
it.
you literally call me every day with an idea, and like we always talk it through. Usually my role is to tell you why it's not going to work, and then if we still like it after that, then we run it by Chris, and he's even worse at telling us why
The
it
other
wouldn't work.
filter.
But if it still works after that, then we know we have something. And so that's
Yeah,
usually how it works,
exactly.
right? That's fair to say. That's how it works. That's how these things work.
Yeah. If I really love the idea, I keep nagging until you guys say yes.
That's right. That's how we see that's the persistence too, because sometimes it takes a while to say yes because the reality is most businesses fail, not succeed. So we're no different, and we have to keep that in mind too. But Monica, when did you know you were an entrepreneur?
Oh, wow. I think I always knew because when I was little, I used to sell things in school.
Really?
Yeah, I started in second grade. Uh, and I used to sell things that everybody could go and buy in the corner, but I used to sell it more expensive, but I still got it, right?
I
And then,
did not know that about MPC. What did you
yeah.
like? What candies, things like that?
Why? Wow. I even sell, what's the name of this? Snails. Can you believe that?
You
I
sold
used to
snails?
sell snails to my, yeah, I used to sell
Wow.
snails to
I did not
my,
know this about you. I know you for
yeah.
6 years now. I used to sell roly polies as a 5-year-old. I sold roly polies. I dug roly polies from the ground. Yeah, put it in a cup, and I was 5. And then I went on the street. We were in Santa Monica. It was a busy street, and I put a sign that said "pet sale." And then people
Oh,
would stop by.
wow.
People would stop and say, "What pets are you selling?" I say, "Well, I have roly polies in this cup. It's like $3." That reminds me of the snails. That's cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that
So I
about you.
used to, it's because I don't know why we used to go somewhere with my mom and my sister, and in that place I used to see a lot of snails. So I started putting it in a box, and then and took it to the school, and then the kids all loved it, and then I start selling them the snails.
That's awesome. So you
Uh,
knew you were an entrepreneur from the beginning. Even before that, you knew what that word meant.
yeah, uh-huh. And then my first business I got it when I was 18, right after graduation. I was selling like customized computers. In Colombia, we call it clones.
Hmm.
So it's like whatever you wanted in a computer, we will build it and sell it to you. That was my first business.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
then from there, the rest is history. Then that I had a coffee shop and then other businesses.
I
So
remember the coffee shop. Yeah, was that in Australia or where? You've been all over
no,
the
that
world.
yeah, many places. That was in Miami, in
Okay.
actually in Fort Lauderdale. So that was
Wow.
that was my first business in
Good
my
thing you
second
got out of
business in the
that
United
business
States.
now with COVID.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
people
I
get
mean,
hit hard, unfortunately, with their
yeah,
food and
restaurants work really tough. I mean, a coffee shop was tough, but restaurants, I think, is even. I mean, it's like you really need to like your business.
when did you open that coffee shop? I didn't realize. I knew, but I don't know the timeline of events.
That coffee shop was back in 2000. When was it? September 11? In September
2001.
2001? Okay,
Yeah.
so it was the year before, in 2000.
Wow, 2000. Okay. Wow. And what got you into healthcare? Because I know your background was in like journalism, right? You were doing like some broadcast things with
Yeah,
Australian TV, right?
yeah. It was with a company that used to do, we used to do PR for musicians and stuff.
And now you're doing
But
PR for yourself.
yeah.
Much
So
better.
what happened? Yeah, so it was, I think healthcare is something that is been in my veins also. It's like my blood because my family is pretty much everybody's in healthcare. My mom is a nurse and a nutritionist, and then my dad is acupuncturist. So I kind of have the best of both worlds. And in
East
some
and
point it
Western medicine.
hits. Yeah, so in some point it hits, and then I want in when I finished, I went to university in Colombia, and I took a marketing and advertisement, and I loved it and everything. But when I grew up and moved to United States, in some point I realized that I wanted to be a doctor. Um, but being a doctor, I mean, university to become a doctor is very expensive, and I just couldn't afford to pay for my education. So I went to university again, and I did something related to healthcare. So it was the business with the healthcare management, and one of my classes was research. So that's the moment I fall in love with research.
Wow.
And then life brought me to you, the guru. I mean, how
Yeah.
lucky I am.
When was this? So this was 2014.
2014.
We
So the
one of our
luck
owners,
is,
right? One of the partners knew you somehow.
yeah,
How did you
I
know
met.
Jim?
So the story is, I when I wanted to come back to United States, yeah, I started doing kind of research of which state was more convenient for me to grow professionally. But my aim was always pharmaceutical. So um, at the end, after my research, I realized that California was very convenient, and I had only one friend here. So I call my friend and I say, "Hey, I'm moving back to California. Would you let me stay in your place for a few days while I just, organize my life, find a place to live and everything?" And this just one friend happened to be a friend of Kim Parhurst, and he was the one
Really?
that introduced me to him.
Wait, what's this guy's name?
So his name is can I say just his name?
Yeah. Why not? First name. First name.
Well, so I was living with Michael, but then Michael
Oh,
was,
okay.
it's just actually like
I thought I
it's
knew
like a
him. That's why.
chain.
I thought I knew
Yeah.
him because
Oh no. Oh, you
I know
do?
someone. Really? Because I knew
Yeah, you.
someone else from Colombia that knew Jim really well. I didn't. I
Oh
wondered if
yeah,
that was.
before.
Yeah.
No, it was no. He's actually he's from Filipinas. He's
Oh, okay. I did
Filipino.
meet him too. Okay, okay. I just
Yeah.
assumed he was Colombian. My bad.
Yeah, no, he's not. So he introduced me to Jim, and then the rest of history. I just remember when they gave me the names of the persons that were going to do the interview, which was you, Chris, Jim, and
Chris.
Dr. Kellogg. And then I went and stalked the media, and then I found out that you were the most popular and the most, I mean, that everything that you knew, I got super scared.
Yes.
I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know much about it. I hope this interview goes well. And
I remember that, yeah. And we asked you
so,
nothing about research, basically. We just asked you at that level, like what you want to do and why you think research is for you. And you answered well because, and this is actually, I think, what you learned from that interview is what you teach to the students of the CRC Academy, which we're going to get into that. But companies like small companies, especially small business, they like to hire generalists because they like to hire people who can learn fast. So we weren't concerned that you didn't know much about research. We wanted to make sure your mind was there to be able to learn, be a go-getter, which you can't really take a test for this. You have to interview the person to see this. And that's what you were. And Jim said that's what you were before the interview. So Chris and I just wanted to be there to make sure that's the case. And I think you teach this same strategy. I mean, everything you're teaching in the CRC Academy, you've lived it yourself, first-hand experience. You can't be better than this. You have guys and gals, when you join the CRC Academy, the position that you are in, Monica was living this, years before, 7 years ago, almost 8 now, right? It's crazy how
yeah.
long ago. So what did you learn during that period? Like you came in day one, you learned everything.
Well, yeah, I started as a recruiter,
Patient recruiter.
and exactly, and it was amazing because that was the breakthrough for me to research. I was willing to do anything in order to be part of research. I knew it was gonna be hard if I didn't you know uh, say yes to an opportunity like this. And obviously I have no regret that, not even 1 minute in my life. I mean, that was the best opportunity I have ever got in my life, as a researcher or working in pharmaceutical research. And I was lucky enough to have you, Chris, uh, teach me pretty much everything.
Well, you learned most of it on your own because I and Chris, we had so many different projects, just like we do now, but then it was even less organized, and we had almost no time to train you properly. So I give you credit because you had to deal with all this stuff on your own, learn all these things. You know, eh, looking back, I think it would have been faster if I would have trained you, but there was just no time. And this is why we needed a go-getter that we knew already. We knew we wouldn't have time. And I told Chris and Jim, the person we hire, I can't be babysitting them. They're going to have to learn on their own. And that's exactly who you were. And now you're teaching all the students to do this too.
Yeah, but I have to mention something, Dan. I don't know if you remember this,
Probably
but you
not.
but once when you created the CRE Academy, you asked me, "Do you want to do it?" And I said yes, and that gave me a lot of foundation too, because uh,
I forgot. I forgot this.
yeah, because to become the clinical research coordinator after taking the class, actually that's when I started being the coordinator.
Hmm. I
So
remember now. This is good. I'm glad you brought it up. And back then, we didn't have a CRC Academy, or we would have put you in that one.
no, yeah, no, and then when I start working, being the clinical research coordinator, the CRA class gave me a lot of foundation because I was just like, when I was doing things, I was just like, oh yes, I saw this in the class, so now I knew how to
Hmm.
do it, and obviously I have the guidance of Rosario and Carlos too, but
Yeah.
I mean, without you, this would not have been possible.
Wow. Well, thank you. I forgot about that. But yeah, see, CRA Academy, shameless plug for the CRA Academy too. So, when was it? And you're still running that clinic right now. We're thinking about maybe merging that clinic into a bigger clinic with another smaller clinic. But maybe we'll let that smaller clinic operate by itself. Still, we're thinking about it. And actually, we got to look for office space. Uh,
Yes.
I haven't found much honestly, but that's we'll talk off the air about that. So now you've been more of a site director. Now you're getting more into business development as well, how to get the studies, how to manage other people who are running the studies, patient recruitment, physician recruitment. You're starting to get into budgets. If Chris will ever fully train you on that, you're going to get into contracts and budgets. When did the CRC Academy, like why? Because that was your idea. That was another one that was Monica calling me every day for a while. And then I kept saying, no, I don't know if there's people are going to buy it. I don't know. I was trying to always like make the business seem like it will fail because I know if we can overcome that, then we have something. And what made you want to do that? Like you knew that there was demand for this, even though I thought there wouldn't be.
Because I was thinking, there are many people that have the bachelors. There are many people that have the education to become a CRAs, but there are also many people that want to enter in the industry, but they don't have that. They have other like maybe just the uh, basic education, or sometimes they have the associate, or they just have the desire to be in this industry. And I was thinking, why not? This is a great opportunity for them to join the industry. And the other thing was because we were getting pre-med students asking us to do internships, and 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 I say, well, this could be also an opportunity for them to do the internship, to do the class, and then get involved in research. And it's gonna be for us convenient too, because these are doctors on the making, so
Yeah.
they will like the industry, and then in some point,
Future docs.
they might want to open a business with us. So that was pretty much why I wanted to do that. And then because in my case, uh, if back then we had this study coordinator class, it would have been much easier. And then also for the sites to train their staff,
Yeah.
is good to have like a training that is the same for everybody.
Right.
So you know exactly what what they know. I mean, the knowledge, and then all those capabilities that they can develop over the time if they
And
have a standardized education for their staff.
yeah, and it's been one of our most successful products, the CRC Academy. And we're getting the logo redesigned. It looked good. I saw the logo the other day. It looked good. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited for
absolutely
that.
loved it.
That's good for the new year. Bring on the new year with the new logo.
Yes.
Is the logo done? It's done, right?
Yes, it's done.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
actually going to upload it today in the website.
Yeah. I was just
Uh,
gonna say.
I actually start doing it last night, but it's bigger than the size, so I'm going to resize and put it correctly
Yeah,
in
that
the
resizing
website.
stuff is annoying. I have
Yeah.
to deal with that too. What was it? So, the importance of being a generalist. for a coordinator. All right. Not only is it
Oh,
helpful for the site, because usually the smaller sites need somebody like you. We needed you, somebody who we can teach research relatively quickly, but is already able to be outgoing because you have to be salesperson to get doctors and sponsors and patients to be interested in your site. But also like good leadership as well, and someone who's resilient and doesn't quit. And so, like you teach this stuff. How important is it for the own? Not only is it important for the site when they're starting out, because some of the bigger sites they don't want generalists, they want specialists. But if you are an individual, you should want to be a generalist because it's going to help your career. All right. At the end of the day, it's going to help your career.
and they give you more opportunities out there. And on top of that, I mean, if you're a generalist, you will have more opportunities. If you learn different things and you're a generalist, then you have also the chance to choose what brings you more joy and have a more fulfilling career. And
And a safer
additionally,
career.
exactly. And then, oh yes, 100%. And then on top of that, if you're a generalist, you can also be your own. You can uh, open your own business because then you will know how to run the whole show.
And that's what I want
So
to
you
talk
have
about as well, because that's a perfect segue into the video we did with you brought on the financial advisor friend. I think his name was Eddie, right?
Eddie.
Eddie?
Yeah. Hmm.
Eddie's amazing. So we have the full video on Latinos in Clinical Research YouTube channel. But I think every single person in healthcare, not just clinical research, in healthcare needs to treat their career like a business. Even if you're a W 2 employee, you should have a side business. Even if you're moonlighting, whatever the case, even if you don't need the money, okay, you're developing a different set of skills. And you have a lot of tax incentives as well to do this. The government wants you to start your business, they want you to reinvest back into the ecosystem. They also want to tax you more. So you have the incentives to do this, right? And this is why we brought on Eddie. But during that interview, I was thinking, what everybody in healthcare should have, and obviously not everybody will, but I think everybody should if they care about their financial future.
Yeah, and there are many things that you could do in research. I mean, obviously, opening your own site will be amazing. But then also, for example, people that are in psych, they can become raters. That's your own business,
Look at the
right?
social worker that works with us,
Mhm.
Trevor. Shout out to Trevor. I need to interview him. Okay,
Yeah,
he's works full time. Matter of fact, I told him next time he goes to one of the clinics to let me know so I can go talk to him and interview him. He works full time as a social worker, but he's also, because he's been working with us on the side and he is entrepreneurial minded. I told him, why don't you just become a rater? We have a bunch of sites that need your services. So now he does psychometric assessments for our sites, and that's a business, and he gets tax write-offs for his driving, which all of that you can't get as a W-2 employee, right?
exactly.
So that's a
And then
perfect example.
another example could be to become a sub investigator for a site,
Hmm.
uh,
Another
and
one's patient recruiter,
patient recruitment, also getting studies for a site. And
business
that actually,
development.
for business develop, you don't even have to leave your house.
Yeah.
You just do it from the comfort of your house. So there
Physician
are many,
recruitment,
yeah,
clinician recruitment.
exactly, exactly. So there are so many opportunities, and especially right now with COVID, that you have uh, maybe you have time at home or you want to develop a business that you can manage your own time. Research it is.
Yeah, I really do believe that. And let's segue now into Latinos in clinical research, because this is what inspired this whole entrepreneurial thing. We had our first Zoom meeting. It went well. We're gonna have our second one here in the second week of January, so stay tuned for
Mhm.
the email for that, guys. But in the meantime, go to the YouTube, go to Latinos in Clinical Research YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on the alerts. Go to the Instagram, Latinos in Clinical Research, follow, and I don't know what else you do there. And then Facebook as well,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn as well, same name, Latinos in Clinical Research, and podcasts, right? Latinos in Clinical Research. Be on all this stuff because even if you can't make the Zoom calls, you can watch the videos, you can see highlights from different things on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You could get notified of contests. We just did a giveaway for the CRC Academy, right? I'm thinking we're going to do a giveaway for the CRA Academy on the next Latinos in Clinical Research, which will be January 10th. So we have to make a contest before that, probably a similar contest. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, you don't want to miss out on these giveaways, guys. So what do you like about the Latinos in Clinical Research? What do you hope we can achieve with this group? Because all the founders had a different answer. So what's yours?
My one is to improve the pharmaceutical industry or the research industry, because at the end of the day, if we in either way, if we recruit more patients, if we educate more people, whether it is on the professional level to bring them work in our industry, or educating the population about research, at the end of the day, our communities are going to get then that results, which it means that the medications or the treatments are going to be working better on our communities.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a kind of education, and also to solve the problem of diversity, because people probably don't know this, but if we don't have all the communities participating, or at least a good amount of people participating in clinical trials, then the medications won't work the same, just because our genetics are different, even though that we're
Yeah.
humans, but the treatments just work different,
Mm-hmm.
because we have different, obviously, genetic information, and also we have different ways of process things. Um, our physiology is is the same, but it varies because our the genetic information. So uh, having this, the Latinos in clinical research is a way to spread the awareness, and also to give our community the opportunity to work in the industry. A lot of people probably see us as like something unreachable, or something that is scared. Like, wow, it's just that industry is just for nerds and people with white coats, right? And no, we have everything. Every single career that is out there, we have it in pharmaceutical. Anything like marketing, we have marketing, we have PR, we have obviously scientists, we have um,
Training, human
I mean,
resource,
yeah, IT,
IT, any
you
vendor,
name
any
it. Yeah.
technology that you can think of. It's probably should be. If it's not in research, back to the entrepreneurship thing, you want to learn how to be a millionaire in research, you follow other industries, especially with technology, and you replicated the same thing in research because the industry is always a decade behind. And I think COVID kind of speed that up a little bit. I think we're less behind now, but it'll be interesting to see how the industry comes back because I think a lot of the remote monitoring, a lot of it is going to exist. Uh, I mean, it's not going to be the only option of monitoring, but we talked about this in the first Zoom call as well. So I think networking is important. And one of the things we started doing in the first Zoom call for Latinos in clinical research was networking. And by the way, it's all ethnicity. It's not just Latino. Everybody,
Exactly. Uh-huh.
anybody's welcome to join. Obviously, the topics are focused loosely around Latino issues, but the networking doesn't care what background you are.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the idea is to bring more diversity to pharmaceutical, to clinical trials, and together we make that
Yeah.
diversity. So
Yep.
if that's why it's so important to have all other ethnicities participating, because at the end of the day, is a joint work, and working together make things faster. Working as a team and networking, because uh, we can, I mean, my ideas can give somebody an idea, or somebody's idea can bring some solution. So have being part of a community is important, and this community is has been created for that, to improve uh, the pharmaceutical industry in the best way possible.
I agree 100%. So you're looking forward to 2021, Monica?
100%.
Yeah, I was telling Chris earlier that I think the next decade is going to be huge for vaccines. You know, they're saying every 6 months now you're going to need a vaccine, and they're saying all these new strains. Look at all the opportunities that happened in 2020. There's a coronavirus study everywhere you look on clinicaltrials.gov. There's a new study, whether it's prevention, treatment, vaccine. I don't think that ends. I think that's gonna just increase. And that look what that does for the industry. Demand for more jobs, demand for more sites, demand for more patients, more minorities, blacks and Hispanics primarily. So I think we're gonna see more of the same 2021. Um, at least as far as the opportunities go for clinical researchers.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity. I mean, research is so it brings so much quality of life. If you want to be part of something greater than just your career, be part of this industry,
Hmm.
because the impact you're creating in the society is improving the quality of life.
And now I have personal experience with this. I was in a compassionate use study, which I'm going to talk about with Dr. Hazen, who's the PI, uh, later in a future episode. But yeah, I mean, talk about quality of life, you know. Not to get into it too much because I want to save it, but your
Yeah.
clinical research is amazing. I've been in this industry for 15 years, and this was my first study that I like a real study that I was in, and I feel like a renewed sense of getting people excited about it, about research again.
Yeah, I feel passion for this. And then when I start teaching, I realize how amazing it is, and and like I was mentioning, the impact that we have in the communities, in the society, is just, it's a never stop learning, obviously, but the sky is the limit. So
Exactly. Whether you're a patient or somebody who's seeking a career, or in the age of COVID, maybe you're both. Um, I think networking is key. I think being a generalist is key. And you guys need to go to all those social media places I put of Latinos in clinical research. I don't care your nationality, doesn't matter. I'm not Latino, I'm in it. LatinosInClinicalResearch.com. Subscribe to the email list for sure. Go follow all those social networks, and then go follow Monica as well on LinkedIn, right? Latinos in Clinical Research for any platform you could think of.
every single platform, yeah.
All right. Anything else? Did we forget anything?
No, I don't think so.
I think we covered a lot, and I think there's going to be many more. And I can't wait for the second week of January for the Zoom call, Latinos in Clinical Research. So thank you very much, Monica, for coming on and sharing and inspiring. And I hope somebody watching out there, watching or listening, gets a little bit of inspiration from you
Yeah.
and does something with their careers.
Anybody can do it.
This is true. Thank you very
Yep.
much, Monica, and thank you everybody for
Thank you,
watching and
Dan.
listening. And we'll catch you all later. Bye bye.
Thank you.